You're listening to Believe in the Moment Radio. I'm your host, Stu Rosen, and we're going to be speaking with some really amazing people today. I joined this contest called The Next Top Spiritual Author, and it was originally just to promote my book, but what happened was I just met these amazing, amazing people, and it really puts emphasis on top spiritual authors. These are really, really great people, and so we're going to be meeting them throughout this whole series. And I'm really particularly interested in our next guest because she and I have quite a lot in common. Spirituality, of course, but also has to do with acting, because acting is what brought me to Los Angeles. It was the driving force in my life until pretty much I realized that the spirituality for me was more important. So I started bringing the acting into the spirituality. And so our guest, Dr. Duanita Eleniak, is a philosopher of conscious studies. She's an author, an inspirational speaker, a clinical social worker, and an art therapist. And what really fascinated me is that her book is called My Journey Through Acting School. So that really piqued my interest. I really want to hear about your journeys. Kind of tell us where you started and what led you to your journey in acting school.
Okay, that's a good question. Well, I was deciding on what to do for my PhD dissertation, actually, and I started researching quantum physics, and I began to think about, okay, if I want, my mission here is to shift the worldview and assist the current shift in paradigm. So I began with the question, well, what's the quickest, easiest way to shift the most number of people's consciousness, like in the quickest amount of time? And so as I was studying quantum physics, I realized that, you really need two things in manifesting. You need to know where you're going. And we, as a world, we know we need to change, but okay, so we need to change this old paradigm. Well, where do we need to go? We need a vision for it. And then the second thing that became really apparent to me in my studies on quantum physics was the other thing that you really need is not just to think about it, but to actually feel, to really feel that vision. And because it's on the feeling level, the feelings are the literal vibrations at a subatomic level that bring and attract vision into reality. So I thought, okay, vision and feelings, well, what's the quickest, easiest way to provide vision and to elicit the feelings necessary? And of course, the answer is the arts. The artists can provide vision, as well as the feelings that, artists can elicit the feelings from an audience or feelings from people to actually manifest. And so then again, I'm thinking, well, okay, so if the quickest, easiest way around the world is through the arts, then which particular form of the arts would be the most powerful? And again, my mission at this point is to change the world. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking about it, and I'm thinking, well, if I want to reach the most amount of people, what do people do all the time? And so I thought, well, they're watching TV and they're watching movies. And so I thought, well, I'll immerse myself into an acting program and I'll learn how to act. Because that way, and I went specifically into a program for acting for film and television, because that way I'll learn the medium through which to get messages across most powerfully to follow up on my mission, which of course is to shift the world, just a small one, shift
right.
the world paradigm.
This is a little thing.
Yes. So I go in ready to change the world and immediately, of course, realize that really what needs to change is me. And so immediately Gandhi's message comes through loud and clear that mm-hmm. I actually have to become the change that I want to see in the world. And so this acting program, and I did the acting program in the context of my PhD dissertation. So I was doing the acting program at the same time as I was studying myself and what was happening to myself, mm-hmm. which I wrote about in my actual dissertation, which is called The Role of the Arts in the Transformation of Consciousness. And this book, My Journey Through Acting School, is basically the general public version of my academic dissertation. And I went into the acting program they had set it up really like an initiation. There were 3 distinct phases that you went through. First we did a piece on storytelling, and then second in theater, and third was producing, writing, and acting in, as well as crewing for 3 short films. And so this book really documents my journey going through acting school while applying the principles of quantum physics in terms of manifesting on various levels, and my discoveries around that. And I really went into it. I mean, I did have a background in psychology, and I had my background in art therapy, so working with the arts as healing. But I had no idea with regard to acting and actors. Actors literally are manifestors, and they can go in and out of all of the scales in terms of all of the different levels and frequencies of emotions, and connect there, and they work with intention all the time. They work with atmosphere all the time. They're working with audience and taking audiences through a journey, providing vision to the world, messages in the world. And I must say that, the whole experience just really, it transformed me, I guess is the only way to put it.